This is the PL-89 calendar, the work that I've been involved with for almost 13 years now. This summer will be 13th summer. So 13 summers ago in 2012 I started with this, and it was completed, the way it looks right now, it was completed in the late summer of 2012. And I've been studying it and working with it and trying to apply it ever since then. And it's the time that I'm making daily videos about it to present what it is and what it does and what it ideally should do. It's a lunar and solar calendar, taking into consideration the Hebrew calendar and the secular, the Gregorian calendar, and the Julian calendar, and the planet Mercury. The amount of boxes that you're looking at right now is 80 boxes, 80 squares, because it's 8 columns and 10 rows, and the bottom is an additional row that's not seen here, but it accounts for that 90th, the number 90 in the 90 days which this calendar measures or holds or keeps the time of. And that's based on a verse in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, chapter 2, that it was said about Moses, the first Redeemer, the Redeemer of Israel, in the Exodus story, that when he was born, his mother hid him for 90 days. Vatitzpeneu shlosha yirachim are the words in Exodus chapter 2. And I forget which verse, it's in the early verses there. But this is a calendar that has both the Hebrew date and the secular date and measures the distance between them. And so today on the PL-89 calendar, the box number is 24. It's Friday, July 4th, 2025. And certain boxes, after a certain amount of times, certain amount of boxes are passed, and not every box is that way, but some boxes the numbers match. Like for example, today is July 4th, so the box number is going to be 24, and so the last digit is going to match. And it doesn't go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It goes 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9 for another reason, a reason that is based on another verse in the book of Leviticus, in the chapter of the Shemitah, which is for a different time. But enough to say that the formula of adding 8 plus 9 is derived from verses in Leviticus chapter 25. And so today, July 4th, on this calendar, in this particular format, it's the box number 24. And what does it have to do with today? Because this week is Parshat Chukat, and we learn about many things. The first thing, of course, is the red heifer, the Parah Adumah. But we also learn about the well of Miriam and the passing of Miriam and the passing of Aaron. And that's one of the things that has to do with 24. What does 24 have to do with the passing of Aaron? Well, we learn in, I didn't learn it inside, it's in the Mishnah somewhere, maybe even Seftas Tamid, Tractate Tamid, or somewhere, that there are 24 orders of the priests, of Kohanim. And I think there's also 24 gifts to the priests as well. And of course, the first priest was Aaron the priest. And he passes away in this parsha at Mount Hor HaHar, the mount called Hor. And And it says that Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher of blessed memory, took the garments of Aaron, took them off Aaron, and placed them onto his son Eleazar. And that's symbolic of, as there are, you have different orders. It's like the first time we see there's, in a way, it's a slight resemblance, but you can see the connection. That you had Aaron the priest, and then it goes to his son. It's now, in a way, in a certain sense, it's a new order. And this is foreshadowing the 24 orders of priests that would come later. And the reason why that is significant is that today is the Friday before we read that portion. And so that's the 24. And then it goes 24, and then since we're in a +4 system right now, which means that the Gregorian date +4 is the Hebrew date. The Hebrew date today is 8th of Tammuz, 5785, so it's a plus or -4 depending where you're coming from. So it's 4 + 4 is 8, so 4th of July plus 4 is 8 Tammuz. That would put us on, it goes in the calendar, on the calendar it goes 24 plus 8 is 32, and then plus 9 is, you would say 41, right? I mean, mathematics would say yes, but it's actually just 1. In this calendar it becomes 1 because there's a cutoff point, there's a cap, like a roof, in a way, of 40. When it hits 40, it resets back to 1 again. That's one of the rules. And that's what makes it have this structure, so that it starts at 8, and then after 40, it comes back to 8 again, and then it goes to 40 again, and goes back to 8 again. And that has many reasons to be explained. So 4 plus 4 is 8. So 8th of Tammuz would be 24, 32, 1, 9, 18. So on the same calendar, box number 18 would represent the 8th day of Tammuz. Why is that significant? Well, I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, but I have a reason that's very personal, and it's subjective, so I don't know how much it would apply to everybody, but this calendar is supposed to be objective. It's supposed to be applied to everyone at all times. So the idea about the 24 is objective. Everyone knows that it's Parshat Chukat, and everyone knows that there are 24 gifts and 24 orders of the priesthood. But with 18, it's a very subjective reason. But here's where the experimentation goes. Can one draw a bridge? Can one build a bridge between the subjective and the objective? In other words, if a number is very personal to me, how can I connect it with the same number that is personal to many other people? Is there a standardization of this? That's what this seeks to find. And so the only thing that I could come up with is that today and if someone sees this video and the number 18 is meaningful to them, then half my job is done already, or maybe more even, because what was subjective to me is now objective, at least on some level. These other people, or how many people does it have to be subjective for it until it becomes objective? These are the questions that this calendar deals with. But 18 is article number 18, which I saw today, is in my articles that I write. Article number 18 last year was the Parsha of Shalach, the Divrei Torah that I write every week. Came from Parshat Shalach. And in that Parsha last year, we had just started Tractate Bava Batra. And what I wrote was that it talked about the mission that talked about two partners who wanted to make a division in their land, etc. That's a mechitza. There was a discussion of what a mechitza, a division, actually consists of. What are the guidelines? What are the parameters? What are the details of the mechitza? But the connection to Parshat Chukat is that I think that the red cow, was brought michutz l'machana, outside of the camp. I think that's what it says. And then in Parshat Shalach, you have the story of the Mekoshesh Eitzim, that he was picking up wood michutz l'machana. I think it was outside the camp, or within the, I'm not sure about that idea. So that was one idea I was thinking of. It's the word michutz and mechitza and the cow that was taken outside the camp all connect in this parsha because of 18, which is today. And today I saw that. But is there a connection between mechitza, division, and michutz? There are two different words actually. One would become from chatzi, from half, to divide, and one would become from outside, chutz, but they share the same letters. And so those were the ideas that came up today on the PL-89 calendar.